Hey sis, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I am a fitness enthusiast and a self-growth, self-love enthusiast. And in today's video, I would like to talk about 7, mistakes, weight loss mistakes a lot of people make and how to avoid them. Now, these are mistakes that I made, so don't think that I'm just picking on people who make mistakes. No, these are mistakes I made when I first started my journey, and I just want to help anybody who needs to hear this, who's starting their journey, so they won't make these same mistakes, okay? So the first mistake I made is I was under eating to the max. Like, when I say under eating, I mean I was under eating. Let me take you guys back. Rewind, little story time. I started my journey around 2020. I would say 2020, right when COVID hit. I was in college and I was just like when you're young, I was 17, so at that age it's real crucial and critical. So you're really critical of your body. So I was like on it and I was doing good, but when I got to college, I started to undereat. And also, mind you, I'm walking on campus. So on top of me doing cardio, I was already walking on campus. So you're naturally going to need a little bit more food when you're doing all that cardio. But I was literally only eating a cup of fruit. I would walk to the gym. I would do like hours of cardio, which is nothing wrong with doing like a lot of cardio. But I wasn't eating. I ate a cup of fruit. And then when it was time for me to eat, I was so nervous about gaining weight that I would literally barely eat anything. And I wasn't having any energy to work out. I wasn't having any energy to even do my schoolwork. And also, I noticed my immune system was very, very weak because I was under eating. I kept getting sick. And mind you, this is when COVID was first becoming a big thing. So I would always get super sick. I would always have to come back home because I was always sick. And my mom said something. She was like, hey, are you okay? She was trying not to body shame me because I was getting really, really small, but it was a different type of small. It was like a weak type of small. And you could just tell that I wasn't eating enough, and she could tell by my eating habits. She was like, you're not eating, you need to be eating. And that's when I started doing a little bit more research and figuring out, okay, I need to be eating 3 meals a day, just clean eating. Before, I was just not eating, and I would let's say for example, I would go all day without eating and then eat a slice of pizza, which is, pizza's not the best for you. So it's like I'm still eating stuff that's not the best for me, but I'm just not eating enough. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm supposed to be eating 3 meals a day, and it's supposed to be clean meals. So I got into, like I always say, baked fish, baked chicken with a side of veggies and a healthy carb on the side. And that's when things started to change. I started having energy to work out. I started having the results I wanted to get, and it started to look the way I wanted it to look. And I didn't look weak and sick because I was eating the amount I was supposed to be eating, especially with me doing cardio. As I'm doing cardio, I need to have the energy to, work out, right? So the next mistake that you do not need to make is stop not doing cardio, right? So like I said, this journey has been long for me. So once I realized I was losing too much weight, I stopped doing cardio altogether, and I started just to overeat. And I was just weight training, and I was starting to look poofy. And not just that, my stamina was going down, and I had energy, but it's like I couldn't walk without being out of breath, and I just felt like my heart health was not the best. You get what I'm trying to say? So I always say you need to be adding at least 10 to 20 minutes of cardio into each workout. That's how I feel. I feel like cardio is the best for you, not just physically, but for your heart health as well. And there was a point in my journey where I wasn't doing cardio because, I made that first mistake of under eating and I was losing too much weight. So I'm like, okay, now no cardio at all. No, you need to add cardio into your workouts. Cardio, along with eating 3 meals a day, along with weight training, is a perfect mesh. That leads me into the next mistake that you do not need to be making. Do not cut out weight training. In the beginning, I wasn't doing strength training. Then I wasn't doing cardio. Then I realized you're supposed to put both of them together, and then that's when the magic happened. So I would always start my workouts with strength training, then end it with some cardio, and I still do that to this day, and it was just perfect. It was magic. Then I was like, okay, my body is doing great. Strength training, cardio, eating 3 meals a day, clean meals a day, I'm perfect. Everything feels good. I have energy. I feel good. My body is looking the way I want it to look because I am putting it all together. Don't forget those pieces to the puzzle. It all adds up. Can't just do one or the other. Well, you can, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's best if you put it all together, right? So the next mistake I need you guys to not make that I was making is overworking myself. When I say overworking myself, I was literally, you can work every single day of the week, work out every day of the week if you would like, but I was overworking to myself to the point where I was literally tired and sore, and I would still force myself to work out knowing that I need to give myself rest. I wouldn't get enough sleep. I was literally always, on it because I was like, okay, I need these results. And I was doing it from a place of insecurity. That's why I always say, make sure you love yourself before you start this journey. Because when you do it from a place of insecurity, you're bound to overwork yourself because you feel like you have to get to this goal in order to be beautiful. You know what I'm trying to say? When it's also, you need to just enjoy the process. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was overworking myself to the point where I was not giving myself the rest days that I needed. Your muscles grow on the days that you give it rest. So if I'm doing leg days on a Monday, that Tuesday I should not be working my legs again. That Tuesday I should be doing maybe some, you know, cardio or whatever, but I should not be working the same muscle over and over and over. And I also should give myself rest days throughout the week. I personally feel like that's needed, literally, especially with the at-home workouts, because high intensity interval training, HIIT workouts, the workouts I post, I feel like, you know, it's like you're using your body weight. So if we're using our body weight, that's already kind of intense. So I feel like we need at least 2 days a week to give ourselves rest. And if you still want to be active on those 2 days where you're resting, make it an active rest day. Go for a walk outside, walk on a treadmill, but you should not be doing something super duper intense. You need to give yourself rest. If you don't get rest, you're going to crash. Literally. And that leads me to the next thing. Like I said with you know, overworking yourself, being too restrictive with yourself. Now I said in the beginning, like when I was under eating, but also when I'm saying restrictive, when I started eating and stuff like that, I was being so restrictive to the point where I'll be like, I can't do sweets, I can't do, which is, it's good to not do sweets, but I was being too restrictive to where when I finally got to eat what I wanted to eat, I was just like, I went through like a sugar rush, because I went like literally 2 years without any type of sweets, which is, that's perfect. But I was like being so hard on myself that when I finally got the sweets again, I was literally like, I was craving it so heavy. It was a sugar rush. And I was like fiending for it. And I was eating sugar like weeks at a time just because I needed it in my system. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I was just craving it. It was like a drug that I had got off of for so long. So I always say this, like, if you're craving something, allow yourself to have it in moderations. You know, it's one thing if you're just cutting it out because you don't want it anymore, but it's a whole nother thing if you're cutting it out and you're not letting yourself have it in moderations, because you could crash and do what I did. Go through a sugar rush and have sugar for like months at a time just because you haven't had it in so long. So I always say moderation is key. Make sure you're eating healthy most of the time, but you could allow yourself to indulge at times. We're not going to be super duper hard on ourselves. That's just not realistic, and that's not really a great thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not really enjoyable. That leads me into the next thing. Enjoy the process, okay? Like I said, with overworking yourself, but also just enjoying the process. We can't, you know, go throughout this journey and just like talk down ourselves the whole time, or say, okay, once I get to this weight, I'm going to love myself. Once I look like this, I'm going to love myself. Because I promise you, if that's your mindset, even when you get to your goal weight, you're going to find an issue with that. Like I always say, it's best to love yourself from the jump, like throughout this whole process. You have to love the process and do not rush it. Once you understand and don't rush the process, you're not going to be overworking yourself. You're going to be like, okay, I'm enjoying this. This is a lifestyle change, a lifestyle. You can't rush life. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you can't rush to get to the finish line. Enjoy the process. There's so many different stages of my life in which I can go back to with my fitness journey, so I could just enjoy the moment of it. You get what I mean? Because in the beginning, when you're first starting it off, it's so fun and it's just so like, it's something new, and you slowly start to get used to it. So I just wish I would have just stayed in that moment a little bit longer mentally and just enjoyed it instead of rushing the process, and instead of hating myself throughout it, and just enjoying it and loving my body throughout it, and just saying that, okay, this is a process of me taking care of my body. This is amazing. You get what I mean? It's just enjoyable. And that leads me to the next thing. Comparing yourself needs to stop. Cut that out right here and there. If you have a body goal, you can have body goals or whatever, but I want you to understand that stuff looks different on everybody's body. You should not have like a body goal based off of wanting to look exactly like somebody else, because that's not realistic. And I had to learn this too. Every woman goes through that. You know what I mean? So I literally had like pictures of different celebrities on my vision board that I wanted their exact body, and it was so unhealthy, because if I wouldn't look like that, I was starting to be depressed. I was like, okay, I don't look good. You cannot have that mentality where you feel like you just have to look like a certain way in order to be beautiful. Everybody's body is set up different. Look at every fitness influencer. Not one fitness influencer you see has the same exact body, but they're still fit and healthy and living a healthy lifestyle, but their bodies are not all the same. Like, you can still be healthy and have a stomach. You know what I'm trying to, you get what I mean? Like, it's just different body types. Everybody's body is set up different. There's some girls who are naturally skinny. There's some girls who are naturally big bone. Everybody is different. So it's just important if you just focus on you and compare yourself to who you were the yesterday. You know what I mean? Don't compare yourself to these people that you see online, because people can edit their photos too. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own insecurity. So it's kind of ungrateful to compare yourself to different people, because God made all of us different for a reason. You know what I mean? So all that was just to say, enjoy this process. If you're on your weight loss journey, just start and just go. Don't overthink it. Don't feel like you have to do stuff a certain quote unquote way. Just go for it. As long as you're enjoying the process and just allowing yourself to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. We're all human. But this process should be enjoyable for you. You know, this should be something where, you know, you're on this journey of a new, healthier version of you. That's the end goal to this. It shouldn't be something where you're on a journey to look a certain way so you can finally love yourself. No. You need to love yourself throughout the journey and enjoy it, okay? This journey is exciting, and if you're just now starting, I'm excited for you, and hopefully I can be here to help you along the way. I post YouTube videos about it, so you can do my workouts from home, and I just love to see like transformation videos and just about how you started and where you are now. Not just physically, but even mentally. Maybe you started off insecure, started watching my videos, and finally started to love yourself. All of that. This is all about self-love and self-growth, okay? So I just hope you enjoyed that video. Please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.